Na 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 na. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Today we are going to talk about the center of numerical data. And there are three different ways that you can do it. We have mean, we have median, and we have mode. So I have here a data set, and for each number I have put a box on the number line for where that belongs, as my beautiful assistant wife is showing you. Now, we are going to talk first about mean. The mean is the balancing point. So imagine this was a wooden board with boxes on it, and my lovely wife Tisha is going to point to where she thinks it would balance if she were to balance that with one finger. So where would it balance? She's putting it right by 5, higher or lower. She's changing her mind. Would you be? Okay, she's putting her finger right on 5. To find out for the mean, we're going to take all these numbers, add them up, and divide by how many there are. In this case, it looks like this. Adding up all the numbers, there's 19 of them. We divide by 19, and the average is 6. So Tisha's eyeballing was actually pretty close. It was a little further out this way. This is the balancing point. Now, the notation you would use is you would say x bar for the sample average this is a capital sigma, it's a Greek letter, it means add it all up. It's a summation symbol. So add up all the data, we're going to call those data points, each of them xi's, and divide by n. So this notation is something you may not have been familiar with, but it's notation that helps us, especially when we try to talk about standard deviation. If you have a different way of remembering this equation, besides using this notation, great, use that. You don't have to know this. For the median, we're going to pretend there are 2 whiny children, and this is a cake. They want you to slice one slice so that there is an equal amount of cake for both of them. Tisha, show where you think you would slice this cake.
Based on what you said before, maybe 6.
And it turns out if I go to the middle number, what I end up getting is actually 6. So well done. Now, the mode is the tallest place. So based on this tower, where is it tallest?
I would say probably where the most blocks are, at 5.
Sure enough. Let's do a new scenario. We want to talk about the price of a date. So we randomly select 6 people and we say, when you went on your last date, how much did the date cost? Looking at this, Tisha, where do you think it would balance? She's saying maybe 25. Turns out the real answer is 26. Very close, nicely done. What would you say for the median?
23 maybe?
It is, right between those two numbers. So the average of those two numbers brings us to 22.8. Very nicely done. What would you say for the mode?
I don't know. It's somewhere in there.
Can you see how mode doesn't even make sense in this scenario?
No.
So we don't use mode in this class, except for chapter 1. You've got to at least know the definition it's expected. Here's why the median and the mean are sometimes different. Let's imagine that out of these 6 people, we survey a 7th person who happens to be Bill Gates. And Bill Gates, on his last date, spent $3,567. Look at what has happened to our mean. In order to balance that guy sitting way out there on the edge, we've had to go clear out to 531. Is 531 a good measure of where the center of this data is? Now the median stayed much more stable here at 25 because the middle doesn't care what's happening to the edge pieces. So in general, when you have really bizarre outliers, the median will work better. But if you don't have bizarre outliers, the average is better because the average uses all the numbers. In this class, we're not going to work with bizarre outliers, except for examples like this. So we are going to work a lot with the average. But you should keep in mind there is a valid time to use the median if you have outliers like that. How much you mean to me. You're not going to sing it right?
You're not singing it right. Search your heart.
Search your heart.
Really?
To me. I made you sing it wrong, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Ouch.